I really don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Like, everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequences for
It was supposed to be a normal day, just an average, peaceful moment with no drama. Iman showed up at the local kids' community event, all smiles and good vibes, hoping for a chill day with his daughter. Balloons in the air, laughter in the background, children playing freely. It felt like the calm before a storm. But then Iman's whole energy shifted. Because across the park, standing way too close to his daughter, was someone he never expected to see again. Aaron Pierre. That wasn't just a casual coincidence. Not anymore. Because according to multiple eyewitnesses, this wasn't the first time Aaron had been seen around. But this time, it hit different. Aaron wasn't just passing by. He wasn't just waving from a distance. He was standing next to Iman and Tayana's daughter, and not just standing. He was smiling, handing her something, talking to her like he knew her personally. It looked like he was trying to be friendly, but to Iman, it crossed every line imaginable. That moment, Iman froze, like his whole body shut down for a split second while his mind caught fire. That protective father energy came out strong. No hesitation. No second guessing. He stormed across the park with focused steps, not even blinking. He had only one thing on his mind: why was Aaron anywhere near his daughter? And just as he approached, someone nearby, likely sensing the tension, pulled out their phone and started recording. That's when things escalated in real time. In the now viral video, Iman's voice can be clearly heard. He shouted, "Why? Are you near my kid?" The tone. Not playful. Not confused. Just furious. You could hear the rage in his voice like it had been building for weeks. Aaron looked shocked at first, like he didn't expect to be caught off guard like that, but he quickly tried to calm the situation. "It's not like that," Aaron said, holding his hands up slightly, but Iman wasn't buying it. Not for a second. He didn't care what Aaron's tone was. His next words came fast and sharp. "You don't get to act like a father when you're just passing through." That hit hard. That line had weight. It sounded like it came from a deep place of pain and betrayal as security came rushing in. Just in time, stepping between the two men. Both looked ready to explode. And even though no punches were thrown, you could feel how close they were to losing control. The whole crowd paused. Kids were pulled away. Parents stopped what they were doing. The park went silent as the moment unfolded. Then came the twist no one expected. In the middle of the heated chaos, Iman brought up Tayana. His voice cracked slightly as he shouted, "You think this is what Tayana wants?" That name alone made the entire situation feel even more personal. Aaron didn't respond. He just looked down, not embarrassed, not guilty, but like he knew that silence might protect him more than words. People nearby said Iman's hands were shaking. His voice was shaking. It wasn't just anger, it was pain, frustration, and heartbreak all wrapped up in one explosive moment. Sources also claim Tayana's daughter was quickly taken inside by family members, far away from the cameras and the tension. But the damage had already been done. The scene was public, raw, and absolutely unforgettable, and just when everyone thought it was over, when it looked like Aaron would be escorted out quietly, he did something that shocked even his biggest defenders. He stopped. He turned back. And he pulled out his phone. Right there. In front of Iman and the crowd, Aaron started filming. "I just want to protect myself," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. That single move divided the internet. Some people said it was smart. That when you're being confronted, especially publicly, it's safer to have proof. Others called it manipulative, that Aaron was trying to paint himself as the victim in a situation where he clearly wasn't innocent. The internet was torn. Arguments broke out in comment sections, on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram stories. Everyone had a different opinion, but nobody was ignoring it. Fans began dissecting the footage second by second. "Nah, this ain't right. Iman has every right to be angry," one fan tweeted. Another fan posted, "Aaron's way too calm, like he rehearsed this." People were even asking deeper questions. Why was Aaron so close to the child in the first place? Did he know she'd be there? Was he invited by someone secretly? Then, in the middle of this digital explosion, Teyana finally responded. She didn't name names. She didn't post a video. But she dropped a message that said everything: "Trust is earned. Don't test me." That was all. 5 words. But those 5 words set the internet on fire. Was it aimed at Aaron? At Iman? At both? Nobody knew for sure, but the speculation exploded. Some believed she was furious with Aaron for showing up. Others said she was mad at Iman for losing his temper in public and dragging their daughter into unnecessary drama, and just like that, everyone started choosing sides, so Iman's inner circle came to his defense instantly. One of his oldest friends went live on Instagram and said, "Y'all don't know what that man's been through." He tried to stay respectful. But this was the last straw. Iman's brother posted, "Don't play with family. Ever." More insiders shared that Iman had warned Aaron before. Multiple times. They said he told him to stay away from his daughter. That there were boundaries, and Aaron kept pushing them. Meanwhile, Aaron's team began working overtime to clean up the growing mess. It didn't take long for his camp to release a formal statement, clearly aimed at calming the storm. A spokesperson tried to downplay the controversy, saying, "Aaron was invited to the event by mutual friends. He didn't plan to see the child, it just happened." The message was careful, deliberate, almost surgical in tone. They emphasized that Aaron had no intention of crossing any boundaries, and certainly wasn't trying to insert himself into a sensitive family dynamic. He respects the situation, the statement added. It was a calculated attempt to shut down the backlash before it grew even further. But if the goal was to ease public tension, it didn't exactly work. Almost immediately, screenshots started making the rounds online. Old posts resurfaced, photos of Teyana with her daughter, casual family moments, the kind of images you scroll past unless you're looking for something. But what caught everyone's attention was the activity under the posts. Likes from Aaron. Comments that seemed harmless at the time now read with a different tone. Nothing aggressive, nothing inappropriate, but enough to raise eyebrows. Enough to suggest that Aaron had been quietly keeping tabs on Teyana's world from a distance long before this public fallout. Suddenly, people weren't buying the coincidence explanation anymore. It didn't feel random. It felt planned. Fans started speculating that maybe Aaron knew exactly what he was doing by showing up to that event. That maybe the run-in with Teyana's daughter wasn't accidental at all. That thought alone unsettled a lot of people. It changed the energy of the conversation online. What started as a debate about two men in conflict shifted toward concern about motives and boundaries. Now, the internet is deeply divided. The arguments aren't just about who was right or wrong anymore. They're about parenting, personal space, emotional safety, and the welfare of a child caught in the crossfire. Some fans have thrown their full support behind Iman. They argue that, as a father, he did what any protective parent would do. He saw someone outside the family engaging with his child in a way that felt too familiar, too soon, and he reacted. They believe his anger, while intense, came from a place of instinct. A place of love. On the other hand, there's a strong and vocal group defending Aaron. They believe he's being unfairly targeted in a situation he didn't create. To them, Aaron showed up for a public event, was polite, stayed in his lane, and suddenly became a villain. They think the narrative is being twisted to fit an agenda, and that he's caught in something way bigger than him. One user summed it up online, "This ain't about love anymore. It's about control." Another comment, just as popular, read, "That little girl doesn't deserve to be in the middle of all this." And those thoughts are starting to take root. A growing number of people are becoming less interested in the drama between the adults, and more focused on protecting the child at the center of it all. A petition recently launched is gaining traction at an unbelievable rate. It calls for both Iman and Aaron to stop posting or sharing anything involving Tiana's daughter on social media. Thousands of signatures are being added every day. Supporters of the petition argue that this entire situation has gone too far, and that the child's peace and privacy should be the only priority from here on out. Aaron himself has stayed publicly quiet since the confrontation, choosing not to escalate things through social media or interviews. But those close to him have spoken out. According to them, Aaron is genuinely hurt by what's happened. He never expected the fallout to be this severe. He didn't expect to be painted as the bad guy, especially not so quickly. Friends say he feels blindsided and disappointed, not just by the incident, but by how fast people were willing to turn on him. As the days pass, emotions are still running high, and no one seems ready to make peace. Each camp is holding its ground. Fans continue to debate. Petitions keep gaining signatures. Screenshots keep circulating. And in the middle of it all stands a little girl who didn't ask for any of this. The hope now, at least from those watching, is that the adults involved can find a way to step back, calm down, and start thinking less about who's right and more about what's right. And then there's the rumor everyone's talking about, the possibility of more footage. Multiple bloggers claim there's an unreleased angle of the confrontation, one that may show what happened just before Iman approached. If that video gets leaked, it could completely change public opinion again. Did Aaron say something inappropriate? Did someone else tell Iman something off camera that triggered his reaction? We don't know, but that mystery is what's keeping people glued to the story, and it's not stopping there. The final twist? Whispers are circulating that Aaron might be planning a sit-down interview to tell his side of the story publicly. Sources say he's already been approached by 2 major platforms for an exclusive. Meanwhile, Tiana's camp is urging her to stay silent and keep her focus on her daughter. And Iman? His team is monitoring everything, every tweet, every post, making sure Aaron doesn't twist the narrative again. At this point, it's not just a breakup or ex-drama. This has become a full-blown custody battle, one that's playing out under the public eye, with real consequences. And with emotions running this high, the next move from any of them could change everything. One video, one confrontation, and now an entire internet caught in the middle. Is Aaron really just trying to be respectful, or is he crossing lines for attention? Is Iman a protective father, or reacting from a place of pain? And what about Tiana, stuck between 2 men and trying to protect her child? No matter where you stand, one thing is clear, this story is far from over. So, if you've been following from the start, drop your thoughts in the comments. Who's right? Who's wrong? And what happens next? Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming next.